Now we've set up and transferred footage onto your computer, in this tutorial we will look at how you set up an Adobe Premiere file and tour the workspace. First, let's start by opening Adobe Premiere. On the toolbar at the bottom of the screen, click on the Launchpad icon. This will open up your app menu. Navigate the app menu by dragging it left or right until you locate the Adobe Premiere icon. Select this icon and Adobe Premiere will load. Be patient. If it's the first time you've loaded Adobe Premiere on your computer, then it may take a few minutes to load. Once the app has booted up, you'll be greeted with a welcome screen. From here, you can open an existing project or create a new one. We are going to create a new project. Select New Project and your project settings screen will open. From here, you will set the name of your project and where it will be saved to. First, give your project a name. Then, on the box underneath it, select Browse. This will allow you to specify where you are going to save your project to. A Finder window will open and you can navigate to your main project file. Select Choose once you have highlighted this. You will now notice that the location of your project has changed. You can now click OK. Once you click OK, the Adobe Workspace will open. Don't panic. Although the workspace looks complicated, by the end of this tutorial you'll have a clear idea about what each of the sections of this workspace do. Now, before we look at the workspace in detail, if you were to minimize the window and check your project file, you'll notice that a new icon has appeared in that folder. This is your Premiere project file. If you were to double-click this icon, it would open Premiere and allow you to carry on with your project from where you left off. Now, let's go back to Premiere and have a look at that workspace. The workspace is made up of 5 distinct areas. Let's have a little look at each of them in turn. When a workspace area is selected, it will be highlighted by a blue line. The first tab we'll look at is the Project, Media Browser and Effects pane. This is located in the bottom left of the screen. From here, you can import and access any of your media files, as well as access effects and transitions that you wish to apply to your final piece. We'll look at these more in detail later. Above this, to the top left of your workspace, is the Preview and Effects Control pane. From here, you'll be able to preview and play back any of your source media files, as well as adjust and alter any of the effects that are applied to your project. We'll also look at this in more detail later. To the bottom right of the workspace is the Timeline panel. This is where you'll put any of the media that you wish to include in your final project. You will add transitions, effects, stills, titles to this area. Above the timeline, to the upper right of the workspace, is the Timeline Preview panel. This allows you to play back the media that is currently edited in your timeline and allows you to preview your final edit. Finally, in between the Project and Timeline panels is the Tool panel. You select the tools here to move, select, cut or apply effects to media that is in your Timeline panel. Now you know the layout of the Premiere workspace, you're ready to import footage and start to edit.